everybody, this is WhisperSister. This is a rune reading for Serene Whispers. So, yeah, I hope that it gives you a little bit of encouragement or reassurance. I know that you're going through a bit of a stressful time at the moment, and yeah, I'm hoping that this will just give you a little bit of I don't know, just something to think about and take with you. So you had a couple of different issues. The first one, I'm just going to do a single rune reading, and it was about the singing competition that you're in. And again, you've asked me to kind of not mention the details. I don't know if that's still the case, but I won't. I'll keep that on the down low and just say congratulations for the developments so far, and I will just draw a single stone here to give you something to keep in mind in relation to the competition, okay? Great, this is cool. Blank rune. I like the fact that this is the stone I picked. This, I mentioned in a couple of my previous videos at one point, like around October, just before my birthday, I played an open mic that for me was a pretty big, a pretty significant challenge, and right before I went up, I was really nervous, and right before I went up, I drew one stone, and I drew this stone, so that's kind of cool that it, and it was, yeah, anyways, I'll read you what it says. It was great. Okay, this is the blank rune, so in relation to your competition. Blank is the end, blank the beginning. This is the rune of total trust and should be taken as exciting evidence of your most immediate contact with your own true destiny, which time and again rises like the phoenix from the ashes of what we call fate. The appearance of this rune can portend a death, but that death is usually symbolic and may relate to any part of your life as you are living it now. Relinquishing control is the ultimate challenge for the spiritual warrior. Here, the unknowable informs you that it is in motion in your life. In that blankness is held undiluted potential. At the same time, both pregnant and empty, this rune comprehends the totality of being, all that is to be actualized. Drawing the blank rune may bring to the surface our deepest fears. Will I fail? Will I be abandoned? Will it all be taken away? And yet our highest good, our truest possibilities, and all our fertile dreams are held within that blankness. Willingness and permitting are what this rune requires, for how can you exercise control over what is not yet in form? The blank rune often calls for no less than an act of courage. The blank rune often calls for no less an act of courage than an empty-handed leap into the void. Drawing it is a direct test of your faith. The unknowable represents the path of karma, the sum total of your actions and their consequences, the lessons that are yours for this lifetime. And yet this rune teaches that the very debts of old karma shift and evolve as you shift and evolve. Nothing is predestined. What beckons is the creative power of the unknown. Whenever you draw the blank rune, take heart. Know that the work of self-change is progressing in your life. That's cool. I find that really cool, because I'm pretty sure, well, I imagine, I don't know, but I would imagine that some of what you're feeling going into this competition is probably very similar to what I was feeling right before I got up on stage that night, and yeah, it was also, I guess, more widely applicable to my life and the way I was feeling about things, but specific to that situation, it was definitely accurate, and it definitely represented or described feeling of just getting up there and trusting my voice and my ability to do my thing, which is what you've got to do. So, good luck. I've heard you sing. You've got a very beautiful voice, and I admire the effort that you've put into this, and I really wish you luck. So, that's that. Now, for your second issue, which is a bit more broad and probably weighing a little more heavily on your mind at the moment, just your husband's work situation and all of that, which can be so stressful. I'm going to do a 3 rune reading, and I hope that it'll give you a little bit of direction or encouragement, I guess. So here goes. So the first is going to be an overview of the situation and the influences, I guess, at work. Okay. Alright. Okay. That's your overview. And next is your action called for. Your challenge. And finally, your action called for. Okay, so I'm just going to read what the book says here for these. So your first one is Flow. Lagoos, it's called. Page 127. Okay, so this is flow, water, and that which conducts. Okay, so unseen powers are active here, powers that nourish, shape, and connect. The attributes of this rune are water, fluidity, the ebb and flow of emotions, careers, and relationships. Lagoos encourages you to immerse yourself in the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand. It speaks to the satisfaction of emotional needs, to the awakening of the intuitive or lunar side of your nature. For while the sun strives for differentiation, the moon draws us towards union and merging. This rune often signals a time for cleansing, for revaluing, reorganizing, and realigning. A rune of deep knowing, it may call you to study spiritual matters in readiness for self-transformation. Success now lies in contacting your intuitive wisdom and attuning to your own rhythms. A rune of the self relating rightly to the self. Lagoos signifies what alchemists call the conjunctio, or sacred marriage. In fairy tales, it is the end, where the hero and heroine live happily ever after. So if I had to hazard a guess as to what that might mean, I think it would probably be encouraging you to just trust the process and know that even though this is a stressful process and a stressful time, and you may not be aware of how things are going to work out from your current, vantage point, that it may very well be that once the dust settles and everything works itself out, you might look back and see that, things might be shifting and changing for the better. And it might just be a matter of, it's a hard thing to do, but it might be a matter of having faith that, times of uncertainty can often be times of things rearranging themselves so that they'll be a lot, just a lot better going forward. which is Perth, which is initiation. Page 106. Nope, not 106. 103. Okay. So this is initiation, something hidden and a secret matter. A mystery rune pointing to that which is beyond our frail manipulative powers. Birth is on the side of heaven, the unknowable, and has associations with the phoenix, that mystical bird which consumes itself in the fire and then rises from its own ashes. Its ways are secret and powerful. Its ways are secret and hidden. Powerful forces of change are at work here, yet what is achieved is not easily or readily shared. After all, becoming whole, the means of it, is a profound secret. On the side of the earthly or mundane, there may well be surprises, gains, or rewards that you did not anticipate. On the side of human nature, this rune is symbolized by the flight of the eagle, soaring flight, free from entanglement, lifting yourself above the endless ebb and flow of ordinary life to acquire broader vision. All this is indicated here. Another of the cycle runes, birth, stands at the heart of initiation. Nothing external matters here except as it shows you its inner reflection. This rune is concerned with the deepest stratum of our being, the bedrock on which our destiny is founded. For some, birth means experiencing a death. If need be, let go of everything. No exceptions, no exclusions. Nothing less than renewal of the spirit is at stake. Okay, so that's your challenge. Again, to me it sounds sort of like a test of faith and just trusting that even when you can't understand how or why, things are working themselves out for your benefit. And yeah, it mentions that you may have some surprises and benefits and gains that you didn't see coming, so that's encouraging. When taken in a literal way. Alrighty, and then your action called for is a reversed rune. It's called Othela, and it is separation, but you've got the reversal, so I'm going to read both the upright reading and the reversed reading. So, reversed, it says, "This is not a time to be bound by old conditioning, old authority. Consider not only what will benefit you, but what will benefit others, and act according to the light that you possess now in your life. Because you may be called upon to undertake a radical departure from old ways, total honesty is required. Otherwise, through negligence or refusal to see clearly, you may cause pain to others and damage yourself. Adaptability and skillful means are the methods to cultivate at this time, and still you must wait for the universe to act. Receiving this rune, remember, we do without doing, and everything gets done." Okay, so that is your action called for. And I'm going to read the upright interpretation of this, which is sort of like the aspect of it that may be hidden, but is still, the flip side of the situation. Potential, I guess. This is a time of separating paths. Old skins must be shed, outmoded relationships discarded, for when you receive this rune, a peeling away is called for. Part of the cycle of initiation, Othela is a rune of radical severance. The appropriate action here is submission and quite possibly retreat, knowing how and when to retreat and possessing the firmness of will to carry it out. Real property is associated with Othela, for it is the rune of acquisition and benefits. However, the benefits you receive, the inheritance, may be derived from something you must give up. This can be particularly demanding when what you are called upon to abandon is some aspect of your behavior, a part of your cultural inheritance, for then you must look closely at what until now you have proudly claimed as your birthright. Whether it is your attachment to your position in society, to the work you do, or even to your beliefs about your own nature, the separation called for will free you to become more truly who you are. Okay, so I can see ways that that would be applicable, but basically with these readings I would just encourage you to listen to that and just listen for your own reaction, or just watch your reaction to those things and see what kind of thoughts pop into your head and what kind of just what kind of thoughts this prompts in you. And that's probably your answer. So I hope that this was useful. And if you, I guess if you want, like, if you're interested in discussing this at all, I'm available. I'd be glad to do that. But yeah, let me know what you think, if it was relevant or not. And yeah, either way, I wish you the best of luck and patience. It can be really hard to sort of sit still and trust when you have no way of seeing. You have no guarantee that things are going to work out. It's like we'll let go of control as long as we have that guarantee that we won't get hurt. It's a scary thing to do, to just trust that everything is going according to, a bigger plan, but I'm sure it is, and in my experience it definitely always is. And I'm going to go now because the